Today we are going to be cleaning and installing this vintage fluorescent light. This is a T12 40 watts per tube, so it's a T12 80 watts fixture. It's fairly clean on the bottom, but the top is not. So we have to clean that off. And then we also have to make new hooks because we no longer have the original hooks. They did not come to me with the light. So we'll do that. This one doesn't have the hooks either. Jeez. I think what we should be able to do is make the hooks out of like maybe 12 gauge wire. And I think that should be strong enough. So this is like very fine dust on here. It's not sticky, fine dry dust. So I think we're going to start with just vacuuming it off, and then we'll do a wet rag wipe of it, and that should be good enough. Let me get Dennis set up here. After how many months of not being able to properly use the attachments with this vacuum, I finally fixed it. Or, I didn't fix it, it wasn't broken. I developed a solution. And the solution is this. So I can put the attachment on one side of this, and then the other side put a little bit of tape on there to make it just a little bit larger, and that's enough to fit on there, and that works properly now. There's our tripod kick for the video. What just happened. It was working fine when I first turned it on. I don't understand what the thing isn't. Is this just wearing out now? Might have to do something with that lever to raise it up. I think it's starting to wear out a little bit. I'm not concerned about getting it super clean, because you can't even see the top of it anyways. Just want to get it to be presentable. And we'll put some water on this sticker towel. Well, this is going to clean up really nice. This was painted at some point. Come on, preview screen. See, this has got paint imperfections on there. Looks like somebody painted it. gotta get another ticker towel. Okay, everything is clean now, but before we proceed with the install, I want to just take a quick look inside the fixture, make sure that the wiring and everything is set up correctly. This looks pretty easy to open. I think it's just 2 Phillips screws. Oh, I'd say everything is copacetic in there. It's a little dusty. I guess we can wipe it down. No, for something out of the trash, this is cleaning up real nice. This does not look like a curved fixture at all. This looks like pretty much a brand new one. Everything here seems fine. Rapid start ballast. $35 watt, 4-foot T12, made in USA. It'll be pretty easy to put a longer cord on there. These go together much more easily than the three fixtures here in the garage. No, this is not going in the garage. I know these fixtures here in the garage are pretty widely disliked by the viewing audience, but that's too bad. I paid a decent amount of money for the fixtures. I spent a decent amount of time putting them in, and they looked the way I wanted it to, and quite frankly they work just fine. So they're going to stay until they break, and then I'll have to figure out where to source enough vintage fluorescent lights from. It says use rapid start lamps only. Does it specify the start type on these things? I don't think so. It just says Philips F40 T12 soft white K&B. It's kind of rare to see these in soft white. Usually they're at least like 4,000 Kelvin or higher. Cool white is what you usually see. I prefer soft white, so I'm glad this is what we've got here. And this doesn't feel like it's locking in properly. There it goes. Okay. So let's go ahead and test it to make sure that it's still working. Don't see why it wouldn't be, but stranger things have certainly happened. I gotta get out an extension. Yep, it's working. And you know what? It is a nice warm white. It's much warmer than the ones that are in here. Well, I don't have to guess. I can just look. These are 32 watt. They're T8s. They're 4100 Kelvin. And I think I chose 4100 Kelvin to try to match the metal halide lights behind the camera. But I gotta figure out a second stage of lighting in here, or actually technically to be a third, because now that I have the computer set up in here and the desk is clean, at some point I'm probably going to spend some time in here working on the computer, and I don't want to do it under these cool white lights. I just don't find them to be very pleasant. So I might have to get a lamp or something maybe in here. But that's a whole different project. So now let's figure out what we can do about the hooks, not having the hooks. So I think what I will do is I have some wire right here. I have no idea what this was used for. Probably to make some kind of illegal electrical contraption. I think what we're going to do is we're going to take the wire out of this piece of wire. This wire is a piece of 10-2, and I think that it's plenty strong to be able to build a set of clips for. So actually at this point we could just go ahead and move inside and do the rest of the video in the studio, because we're not going to be it's going to be installed in the storage area, so we don't need to be here in the garage anymore. Just want to do the cleaning in the garage. And I don't feel like editing this video, so you're going to have to deal with these horrible camera angles as I pass through the rooms here. And for those that are going to complain about the fact that I didn't edit the video and say it's too long and all this stuff, well, I don't have time to edit the video today. So either I record it like this and it at least exists, or I just don't record it at all. Those are the two options. So I'm opting to record it. Now I just realized this is an extremely risky way to be carrying this fixture, because the tubes could have come out, and that would have been very terrible. Fortunately, that did not happen. Okay, I gotta turn on the electricity over here. The electricity has been turned on. Is the studio clear? Yeah, it's not too bad. Actually, relatively speaking, the studio is pretty clean right now. The tripod, on the other hand, is filthy. This tripod is so busted up. This is busted. The top piece broke. The adjusting is busted, but still using it. I'm bringing over that fluorescent light now and carry it a little more carefully. Not worried about the insulation on the wires themselves, so we're just going to haphazardly cut this to get it off. You could potentially damage insulation on the wires doing it this way, which would render it not useful for actually carrying electricity, but this will not be carrying electricity, it will be carrying the light fixture. This is 10 gauge wire. It's very difficult to work with because it's so stiff. And this is even more difficult than usual because this is underground feed wire. So it's got that additional rubber in there. And I cut the wrong part. I guess I did. Okay. We'll put this back and use this for something else. Maybe we'll use that to make some pieces to hang ceiling fans. Okay, so here's what we needed. A piece of fairly sturdy wire. And I think we'll just make 2 loops here. See how much effort this takes to feed this through. There's no bending it once it's in there because the wire is so stiff. Okay. Okay. That should be more than strong enough to hold this. And now we gotta make a measurement here. I want it to kind of hang in line with the ceiling here, the bottom of the ceiling, so we have about 7 inches of space to work with. So we want let's say the hook takes up maybe, actually let's find out what hooks that we're going to use. I think, what did I use for these? That's going to hang too low, those hooks. So we'll use something like this, but a little bit bigger. There we go. And the package is already conveniently busted. The other package that's busted. Four-inch utility hook. Alright, we use these hooks, and while we're in here, let's grab drill bits. Drill. Gotta charge up that phone. And a stinking lithium battery. Getting towards the end of the summer here. Bugs are quieting down. It's getting cool. Probably only about 60 degrees right now. Be digging for the Christmas stuff before you know it. That's going to be quite the production. But it's well worth it. So the screw hooks will go in that much. So we know that it'll start like that. So then the loop needs to be right about there, which is going to be kind of difficult to hang because it's not going to be a lot of clearance. That might be a challenge. Yeah, I really don't want it to hang below. Not because I don't want to see it, but because the area that it's going is going to be right here. It's either going to go in this bay or this bay, probably that bay, because eventually I might put a row of ceiling fans here. But see how dark it is over here? It's just not workable. I don't need lights over here all the time, but when I'm digging through these shelves to get stuff, I need some kind of light. And so I think that I'm going to put it right there. I don't want it to run all the time because it's just going to end up yellowing all those fans. Because that's one of the unfortunate byproducts of fluorescent lighting, is the yellowing of plastic. So this, I gotta try to make this as small as I can. It's gonna be a little tricky. That's certainly strong enough. I just question how easy it's going to be to install. I don't think this has to necessarily be a work of precision, but let's see how close in height these two hooks are. That was almost 2 inches on the nose. This is 2 inches on the ears. If we just close this up a little bit, we should be able to increase the height to match. Yep. Alright, so that's pretty close. So now we know that the hooks are going to be about 46.5 inches across. So we've got to drill some holes. I have this light here, so I think we're just going to go ahead and use this light. I'm going to go grab the drop light, but why not use this vintage one instead? It's got an incandescent bulb. Just need to get a power cord, which I also have over here. Alright, so we're going to stick it up over here as far to the left as we can go, because we're going to be limited by, well, I'll show you once I get the light on. It's make a little more sense here as opposed to trying to look at it in the dark. Okay, so it's going to go we'll put it in this bay as far over here as possible with those things. I don't know what purpose those things serve. For those that know about how basement floors or ceilings, whatever, are constructed, do those things serve any purpose after the house is built? And can they be safely removed? I feel like those are just something for like when it's being built, but I don't know, so I leave them alone. But it'd be nice to remove a handful of them because they get in the way often. Here's an example. That stool. I can't find the stool. It must be, is that really necessary? It must be dwelling in the garage. Here it is. Okay, so we're going to drill 2 holes. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to get those things out of the ceiling here. That's remnants of the old drop ceiling that was here. think I'm going to keep these. They could be useful for something. Nail there, I don't know what that's for. Alright, now we have to drill some holes. 2 holes. It's too big. That's probably good. I think we said this was 46 inches or 46.5 inches. That's, we'll go with 46.5. So we'll do the first hole very close to the edge here. These drill bits are so dull, I almost feel like they might be worth using. I've got that machine, I gotta try it to sharpen them. Oh, I had to clean up here again. I had vacuumed a lot of this when I moved in. And it seems like over the course of the last 2 years, what is that? Okay, that was just the beam I was holding on to. Kind of sounded like a mouse in the rafters or something. Over the course of the last 2 years, a relatively small quantity of these cobwebs have returned. So we just need to go through and vacuum them out again. Okay. Now we gotta go over here and measure 46 inches away. Wow, this is going way too far over. That stinks. This is way further over than I wanted it to be. Well, I'm just gonna keep going with it for now. But this is not, I have no choice because of the way that those metal crossbars are. But this is not where I want it. I do not want it this far away. You know what? Let me measure something else too.
How far out did I put the hook? 7 inches? Yeah, about 7 inches. And I was considerably off from my guess. I'm gonna go right about here. Alright, now it's time to install the lights. And this is going to be pretty challenging, I think, to hook that on. I'm going to start on the right side because I have a less ideal angle, and I'll finish on the left. I'm going to put the cord towards the right side. I'm going to take the bulbs out as well. I just feel like they're going to fall. Once again, my measuring skills fail miserably, and this is a good 4 inches off. That's pretty pathetic. I can't even measure 46 inches on a flat surface. 4 inches off. Okay, take 2. Actually, that wasn't bad at all. And the height is reasonable. This thing is throwing off so much heat. I'm not used to these. I'm used to the halogen bulbs more often. Okay, that's not going well. What's the problem here? There we go. Okay, installed. Turn this light off. Can't move that light for a while until that cools down. And plug this light in. Let's see what it looks like. Nice. So now we have much better lighting over here. So when I go and I'm working with stuff here on these shelves, I can easily see, as opposed to using a torch or a drop light or something like that. Lights up the fan display real nice. The only problem is running it long term, it'll yellow all the plastics. So maybe I'll have to put some incandescent lights over here. I do like having light over here. It adds a lot more life to the space. So maybe that's a future project, is to add more lighting. I do have those. I have some recessed cans I could probably put up over here. Oh, something to consider. So that's that. This is all ready to go. I'm glad it cleaned up so nice. It looks great. It's a nice vintage light to have. I'm glad the tubes are soft white too. I was not expecting that. And this is a much better use case than kicking around the garage.